It's not a clickbait. I really use my phone for less than 45-30 minutes a day. In this video, I'm going to share with you my personal experience, how I managed for the last 3 years to fully control the use of my phone, but that wasn't always the case. I used to use my phone at least for 4 hours a day. So I was heavily on social media. So how I could manage to transition? My name is TG and I'm going to navigate you through your self-improvement journey. So buckle up by hitting the subscribe button and let's get started. I want to start by saying that I wasn't following a guide back in the day when I wanted to reduce my phone use. It was more as a result of my deep awareness of the danger of using my phone, and in the other side I was aware of the benefits that I would get if I managed to reduce my screen time. From what I can remember, the quality of my sleep was very bad because I was sitting in bed and pretending that I'm falling asleep. But I used to spend at least 1 hour, at least, before I really intend to sleep. And from what I was consuming, I was clearly seeing that I'm wasting my time. So these are samples of the bad effects of using my phone. I lived it personally. So I would say that I increased my awareness somehow. So you have to increase your awareness. And you shouldn't complicate it that much. You shouldn't watch videos on the effects of phone on your life. No, with the facts that you already know, you just have to sit and to think for a moment, reflect, and see what areas are being damaged because of your phone use. The areas in your life that nobody knows except of you. And do the same for the things that could be better, could improve if you stopped using your phone. By having this in mind, you have conditioned yourself to take the next step. Now we got into the how-to part of the video. To take any action towards any activity that you want to accomplish, you have at first to collect data to understand what do you want to do. And the second point is to analyze these data, to come up with a strategy. We're gonna practically talk about it in a minute. And the third element, which is to take action upon the data that you have collected and the data that was analyzed. So let's apply this to the problem of reducing my phone use. We have to go through these 3 elements. The first one is to collect data. How should I collect data about my phone use? You use your phone daily and you have in your settings a screen time type of setting. It's called screen time in most operating systems. If you monitor your use for the next 7 days, you will start seeing where do you actually spend the most of your time and how much time do you spend on your phone in general. By collecting this data, you know exactly where you're at and you could think about the target that you want to reach. I wanted 30 minutes and I'm really living. Sometimes I don't even use my phone unless if I want to answer a call or I want to call somebody. But I truly don't rely on my phone. So I was at 4 hours and I had something in mind. I had 30 minutes. So you have to do the same. Let's get into the analyzation part of this process. Now by analyzation, I mean to build a strategy. We want to create a plan to transform. Now there are 2 ways of doing it. And the first one almost never work, which is to stop using your phone at once and to delete all of the social media apps and just hope and pray that things will work, which actually in most cases wouldn't work. I wouldn't argue that some people are capable of doing it because the human being is capable of what he thinks that he's capable of, but it's just too hard. That's why I'm saying it almost never works. So now logically, how can I apply this into reality, given the fact that I can't stop using social media today? I can't leave my phone today. After a bit of thinking, I thought that if I reduce my phone use for like 50% at once, so instead of 4 hours, I will have 2 hours. It's a heavy start, but it's still not as heavy as cutting everything off. So I still have 2 hours. And the plan is to reduce my daily use by 5% and to stop at 30 minutes a day. And before I started executing, I added this backup layer. It was basically a piece of paper. I made it a mission to myself to write everything that I'm curious about on this list. Any subject that I was curious or excited about knowing. And my goal out of this list was very logical. I just stopped using my phone for like the half. I'm gonna feel left off. I'm gonna feel a little bit stressed and I'm going to crave. That was logical to me. So you could say I was preparing myself in case if I collapse and want to come back or cross the red limits, I have some distractions that are constructive, things that are going to bring me forward even if I cross the red lines on my phone, I have to discover only what's on this list. So I have only 2 hours daily, and I have to reduce my phone use to 5% until I get into the 30 minutes. And if I wanted to cross the limits, I have this list that slowly dragged me to start reading books without even noticing. But that's for another video. Now let's get into the execution.
Just do it!
At this point, I had no 1% doubt that I'm gonna fail. I have created a plan that I could do, something that I can challenge myself to do. I'm not going to stop using my phone tomorrow, I'm going to reduce my use tomorrow. And lastly guys, I want to share with you a lesson that I have purely learned from my own mistakes, which is don't complicate things. It's not that easy, but it's not that complicated. There will always be this moment of I know exactly what I have to do and I just have to do it. After that, don't discuss. Just do the work and deal with the feelings, because you probably won't feel that you want to do it. That's basically how you get shit done. Don't complicate things. With that being said, I have a gift for you. Check the first link in the description below. This is your game navigator TG signing out. Long live heroes. Brace yourself. Game on.